Let's talk about moulded flight systems. Now there's quite a few of these out on the market. I've got 5 different variants here and we're going to have a chat about them. Red Dragon Airwing, Red Dragon Nitrotech, Shot Flight Deck, Widmore Fusion, Target K-Flex. So let's start with the K-Flex. These are probably the most recognisable on the market, probably also the most popular. Get them out of the box. And these have got a good bit of flex to them. These are obviously integrated flight and shaft. There is a bit of rotation in them as well, as shown on the back of the box. Not a huge amount of flex in the shaft itself, but a solid option nonetheless. These come in about £10. Durability wise, I'd say they're pretty good as well. Next up, we've got the Widmore Fusions. Not gonna lie, I've lost the box. I'll drop a picture in here to show you what it should look like. But let's get them out and have a look. Now straight away, these have got a thinner stem than the K-Flex. They sort of taper down into the thinner stem, whereas the K-Flex is more consistent throughout. This does mean though they've got a little bit more flex in them. So maybe slightly less deflections there. I think I've had slightly less deflections in my experience using these against K-Flex. Similar in terms of flex on the flights themselves though. And overall similar in terms of durability. These retail at between £7 and £8, so a little bit less than K-Flex depending on where you look. Next up, we've got Red Dragon Nitro Flights. Now these are a bit more like a stem fused to a moulded flight, as opposed to an all-in-one like the previous two. There's not as much flex in the flight area as well, and I just don't feel like these are quite as good. I feel like there's a potential there for some breakage. There's no flex in the shaft whatsoever because it is basically a standard shaft. I personally don't really get on with these, not really something I'm a fan of, which is a shame because the packaging for these is outstanding. These also retail at about £8. So next up, a second entry from Red Dragon, this time Air Wings. Now these are slightly different in that there's no shaft at all, it is just a moulded flight system. However, they're only a slight bit thicker than normal flights, so they do have a lot more flex in them. This does, however, mean there's less chance of deflections to the level you would get with K-Flex or with Fusions because of the extra flexibility. Now, like I say, you do need to add your own shaft, but this does allow you to do your flight and shaft combo as you normally would do. These also come in loads of different colours, so there's plenty of customization options available. Now, I have had issues with these in the past. I bought a bunch of Gerwin Price Iceman Air Wings. I think I bought 9 of them and I had 7 of them break on me because I found they just sort of snapped when you got a Robin Hood type situation. I could have just been unlucky there, but it has put me off using them, so these wouldn't be something I would use in future. Which is a shame because, like I say, they come in loads of colours and they do look quite nice. These come in between £6 and £7. And finally, we've got the Shot Flight Decks. Now, I had a viewer comment on one of my previous videos where I mentioned that I prefer Widmore Fusions to Target K-Flex, and they said that they actually use the Shot Flight Deck, so I said, alright, well, I'll give them a go then. Now, these are more of a matte finish. They are a lot more flexible than K-Flex and Fusions, so sort of more to the level of air wing flexibility, which will hopefully mean less deflections than with other integrated flight systems. They also have a feature called dynamic rotation, which is where when a dart comes past and would normally have a deflection, the flight and stem will still rotate slightly to reduce the chance of that happening. After I've tested them a bit further, I'll give an update as to how well the dynamic rotation works as well. These come in at around £10. Now, of course, these are not the only systems on the market. There's also ones made by Bulls, Condor, Unicorn, Q-Sol, and many others, I'm sure, as well. If you'd like me to try any of them, or if they're the ones that you use, let me know. I'll see if I can get my hands on some, and I'll do a further review. But these are the ones I've got a hold of so far. Which ones are your favourite? Which ones do you use? If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment and drop a follow. I'd really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next one.